Welcome back to the intro.
You say back as if, like, this is not someone's first time listening, and let's be fair, no one's listening regularly.
Honestly, if this is their first time, poor bastards.
Well, no, to be fair, this is a good one.
Oh, it's true. Can you imagine if someone started with Entourage and just went, I think they hate television?
No, even worse. What if they listen to the Entourage like, oh shit, no, I really like Entourage. Maybe they're gonna, and then they just lose the whole thing. I don't really know what I was trying to say with that one. I started a sentence without really thinking how it was going to end. So.
Oh, what if they started with Entourage and just went, oh, if I agree with their opinion on Entourage, which is my favourite TV show ever, I will listen to the rest of their stuff.
That is what I was trying to say.
Or maybe, what if they just get to one of the episodes where we just offhand just go, this is shit, but it's still better than Entourage. So they don't even get the episode where we describe why we hate it. They just get an offhand remark and just go, bastards, don't agree with them.
Or they just randomly pick a selection, and in every one of those we just happen to it just happens to be ones where we slag off Entourage.
Weirdly, in this whole episode we don't slag off Entourage, just in the intro.
Maybe we should slag off Entourage
I'm sure that we won't slag off Entourage in this episode.
No, I can't imagine it will come up.
That was a good save, wasn't it?
It was a very good save. I actually re-listened to Mark Kermode's review of the Entourage movie the other day, and yeah, it's not just us. Everyone fucking hates it because it's
good
shit.
Choice. Us and Mark Kermode.
I mean, that's if you're going to be in a camp, I'm more than happy to be in a camp with us and Mark Kermode in it.
Yeah,
I think
sounds like the least sexy summer camp.
I tell you what, I'd have a lovely time. We'd just like, right, come on, Mark, let's have some cheap American wheat lager and talk about skiffle music, muscle cars, and films. And I'd have a lovely time.
Would you just take your copy of like 1001 films to see before you die and just go, right, now
right,
quickly, just
from
tell me
the top.
which ones are actually worth watching?
No, I would just take him all my copies of Attack of the Clones and go, right, settle in, we're going from one to the other.
Can you imagine? You get 2 days with Mark Kermode and that's how you spend them. Just watching Attack of the Clones on a loop, but a new copy every time. And you just finish off with a VHS for the crispest quality.
I would actually like to watch that one day, because that's what I used. I had Attack of the Clones originally was on VHS. So,
that's a good question.
Anyway,
How much is a VHS player?
No. Yeah, it's a Stephen King special again. I was going to say it's always a good time when Stephen King's involved. It's not always, but this time is half a good time. Like, half of it is a really, really good time.
I mean, technically in watch time it's more than half of it, but, you know, we'll get into that.
I mean, we imagine we will. Rich, tell them the social bits.
The social bits. On Facebook we are I Can See Buses, therefore I didn't get hit by a bus. Facebook, Real Co-Pilots. That's a Facebook page. Stuff. On Twitter, Real Co-Pilots.
Also us.
On Facebook. On YouTube, we're just a random channel. We don't have any content there, so it's fine.
Are we on YouTube?
Yeah, we've got a YouTube channel.
Oh, fuck, I had no idea.
It doesn't have anything on it. No, it's got a couple of streams that we did. You remember when we were going to do streaming?
Oh, yeah. The Rocket. Well, now I have a shiny new PC. That's actually a possibility. We could do that properly now. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll think about it. On Instagram, the one where we post the most shit, the Real Co-Pilots podcast, because we don't like to be succinct on Instagram.
No.
And the podcast is available most places you can get podcasts, just not Acast. I've just really got to remind you that we aren't on Acast. However often you say it, we're still not on it.
That's a joke. I'm gonna email John Harris and demand that we go on Acast now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could go on Acast if we wanted. We just have to pay for it.
Oh, well, in that case, John, I take it all back. We're not doing it.
Yeah, but
no matter how hard you want us.
But we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Amazon, we're on the big ones.
Let's not say that Acast is not
because
a big
Deezer
one.
is apparently still a thing.
dear. Anyway, let's get on with it.
Yeah, there's music.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. It's our second Stephen King special of the series. Hang on, was the other Stephen King one of the ones we lost? It wasn't, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Then yes, it is our second second Stephen King special. I mean, I think we all know how much we like Stephen King now.
Now that I've discovered him.
Ever since you discovered him, it's really funny.
Yeah, it used to be. I don't think you enjoy it as much anymore.
The law of diminishing returns.
Yeah. I wish that worked for scales. Like, the more you weighed yourself, the less you weighed.
Oh my god, I'd be over the moon.
Well, yeah, you'd be so light.
I would. I'm just looking at our updates page on our website. There's no update at all.
Wait, no, there is a maybe.
It just says...
Is there not?
Well,
is there not one that says we might write stuff here?
There's an update from the 11th of October that says that, but since that,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, they've been warned. We might write stuff here. We probably won't.
Nah. Yeah. So Bag of Bones, The Outsider. Which should we start with?
Shall we start with It Was Too Long, and why wasn't it shorter?
So, okay, so yeah, Bag of Bones. What we have just discovered is that although we watched the pilot episode of Bag of Bones, we in fact have now watched one half of the entire series, because it was a 2-episode event, which is fine, but it does now explain the pacing issues that we've had with it, I suppose. I still think it's too long.
Because I don't think a huge amount happens in the whole story. I admit I don't know the story.
No, I've not read the book.
And I'm not gonna lie,
it's this
is maybe
one
of the ones that I probably might just skip.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I imagine, the book's probably all right, but I've just realised this is directed by Mick Garris, and if I'm right, then Mick Garris has a really good horror film podcast. I think it is this guy. I will just double check that, because Mick Garris. Yeah, it is this guy. Yeah, he's got a really good horror podcast called Post Mortem. He chats with a lot of like horror cinema related people, and he's got a very, very relaxing voice, which is very nice when you want to sleep.
He did 2 episodes of Once Upon a Time as well.
Yes, he did.
I've been rewatching Once Upon a Time.
You mentioned that a little while ago. I still can't get into it.
Yeah, I just really like it. I'm back up to the Frozen episodes.
So as with like pretty much all Stephen King stuff, it's about a writer. They're always either a writer or an English teacher, and actually the fact that someone is an English teacher, we will get to in The Outsider, because as soon as there's a character who says I'm an English teacher, it completely changed what I thought about their character. So Pierce Brosnan is Mike Noonan, who's a best-selling horror author who he claims he can only write in the presence of his wife, and then quite unfortunately she's hit by a bus, but
I thought comically,
fucking hilariously. I'm sure it properly, as the bus hits her, it goes toom, and she goes flying off the screen.
So that's the thing. I
laughed.
I find, not in real life, I find people getting hit by buses quite funny in TV shows.
Even in real life, sometimes when some people get hit by buses, it is very funny.
Oh, you're talking about me.
Yeah, it was only about 2 Well, no, it was what, about 3 weeks ago, 4
It
weeks
hit me
ago.
very hard.
No, you said it was less than 1 mile an hour.
It was a love tap. Much like Mike's wife got from the bus. That was,
Or
I would
plumbers,
consider that
'cause they must
a
love
love
taps.
tap.
That's a fucking big one. And then there's this long protracted scene where he runs out and starts shouting to it because his wife's in the floor. And I was like, oh, this is all a bit...
Well, that's the thing. I reckon, right, she would have been fine had he not picked her up and cradled her and
Yeah.
shaking her all about. It's like, wait, she's been hit by a bus. She's got neck damage, obviously.
Fucking leave her.
Yeah, isn't it like the
She's-
first thing you're taught at school? If like, if someone has a big fall, don't touch
Don't move
them.
them. I didn't learn that from school. I'll tell you where I learned that. I learned that from many years of
From
watching Casualty.
one mistake.
Yeah. From what we now refer to as the incident. Yeah, so she dies. He goes to their...
Oh, don't forget that
Because
she's
his
bought a
father's
pregnancy test. Therefore, he assumes she is. Oh no, they did the post-death thing where they like check.
Post-mortem.
Yeah. So she was pregnant.
And here's the rub. He's got a low sperm count and has been told by doctors that he couldn't ever have given her a child. So now he's like,
It must have been fate. It was my sperm what got her killed. Damn my bus magnetizing sperm. It's just so not to harp on about her being hit by a bus, but it's just the way that like you can get hit by a bus by accident without noticing, but it's the way that they purposefully made her be looking away from where the bus hits her. And I
and
understand
that bus
that's
is going at some clip.
yeah, but I understand
well.
that's how you get hit by a bus. You don't see the bus, then it hits you. But
Yeah.
it's just so like she has no business looking in that direction because she's crossing a fucking road. Honestly, I
Do you
think
know
she
what?
deserved it.
I'm gonna watch it back. I'm gonna watch it back.
Because if I remember it correctly, she is so actively trying to not see the bus that honestly she deserved it.
Do you know what? I can complete the whole of Series 1 for the low, low price of £2.50 now.
Wow. Are you gonna?
No. Definitely not. It's rubbish. That's the trouble with Stephen King adaptations. Is there's a lot of them, and a lot of them are bad. Why can't I see the... Here we go. Here's the bit where she gets...
I think
okay,
also
7
this is
minutes,
the problem
35. Okay.
With us doing this podcast is that we are just so critical of pilots.
So she's crossing the road. She's not... She's trying not to see the bus.
Right. And then
She honestly, she doesn't look to her right at any point.
would
Okay, so
you
she comes up
also
sharp.
would you agree?
Oh, she glances right.
Yeah, she glances right. Doesn't notice the bus doing 90 miles. It's the bus from Speed.
Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock are driving a bus.
Yeah. Is this the start
Jesus
of John
Christ.
Wick? Like now
There's no bus
Pi-
in John
No. Now Pierce Brosnan's like, Jesus, Keanu, you hit my wife with a bus. Now I'm going to send that kid from
Alfie
Game of
Allen to
Thrones
kill your dog. And nick your car.
Yeah.
1-1. Yeah, you think, oh shit, my wife's dead. Okay, what's the equivalent of my wife? Probably a dog and a car, I reckon.
Well, I reckon he probably would have killed his wife, but John Wick's wife was already dead.
You get their shit. She's he's got this puppy, and they just look at him like, no, we're not killing a puppy.
No, have you seen what John Wick does when you kill his puppy?
Oh man, John Wick's a great film.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he goes off to his dad's cabin where apparently his wife spent some time. and then spooky things happen in a really unconvincing and quite boring and predictable way. And then he writes a book and it finishes.
It's just kind of... Some of the stuff in the house is just kind of weird, because he's just like... He walks in and he's like, heard this thing about the moose, whenever we were getting, frisky on the sofa, and it's like, you've just met this dude.
I know, that was such an odd scene. And then there's a bit, there's a shot where after he's just laughed, telling this absolute stranger when him and his wife used to shag in front of a moose's head, and he just looks at him like, oh shit, I shouldn't have told you that.
Yeah, I think it's that kind of look that's meant to be like oh, I'm so horribly sad that my wife deserved to be hit by a bus.
I mean, victim blaming is a very, very dangerous area of territory to get into. But
you've checked.
She is right. Fucking asking for it.
Yeah, I've got my second opinion from you, which is close enough to valid.
I gotta be honest, I completely lost the trail of it when he went back in time to watch The Singer. That bit completely threw me. I had absolutely no idea what was happening at that point.
That's so much of this relies on you paying attention to something that is ultimately, I found, profoundly dull to watch. But it requires, you have to pay so much attention to it to be able to work out what is his reality and what isn't. Which is fine if either of his reality or his dream reality, if either of them are interesting. And it's really annoying, because I think it's one of those ones that there's so much... And I don't know if it's the adaptation that's done it, or if it's just the source material is one of the fumbles.
I wonder if this is one of the ones he wrote when he was snorting coke or drinking. What year was this? 1998. No, I think that's after his tricky period. Because what is it? There is a book. I can't remember which one it is, but there's a book that he claims he cannot remember writing because he was so off his nut. I can't remember what it was now. Oh, here we go. Early 1970s, developed a drinking problem. King's addictions to alcohol and other drugs were so serious during the 1980s that, as he acknowledged On Writing in 2000, which is a really good book, he can barely remember writing Cujo, which is weird because Cujo is one of his stronger ones, I think. Shortly after the novel's publication, King's family and friends staged an intervention, dumping on the rug in front of him evidence of his addictions taken from his office, including beer cans, cigarette butts, grams of cocaine, Xanax, Valium, NyQuil, Robitussin, and mouthwash. Mouthwash! Oh, I guess it's booze, isn't it? And then he quit all drugs, blah, blah, blah. The first novel he wrote after becoming sober was Needful Things. So Needful Things was 1991. So yeah, he was out of the woods from his addiction. From his addiction period.
The thing is, so I'm reading the second half of the plot, and the second half of it sounds more interesting. But
I've got a feeling it's probably one of the ones where the book's way better.
Yeah, I think at least the book will help you make sense of the timeline somewhat. Yeah, I think there's so much of the stories in the first half of it that's all the first. So what we've seen is the setup.
Yeah. And
all of the payoffs in the second half of this episode, which when it was aired in the UK was shown as a 2.5-hour film.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, I like the words like mini-series or limited series, but I just felt the pacing was way off with it.
What, an hour and 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Of
so that
162 minutes. Have we been scammed?
Do you know what? I think we might have been. I'm not happy about this.
Because if we've watched an hour and 20 minutes, I suppose like it's a good point for it to leave it.
Yeah, no, the next one's another hour and 20 minutes.
Okay, very confused.
What do you think about the casting of Pierce Brosnan in this role? Because one, I think his accent is all over the fucking place.
I couldn't tell if he was Irish or American.
English, or American.
Yeah, I didn't hear much English, but that's because I think I stopped paying attention.
Yeah.
Because I picked up a couple of times that he'd just slip into like an Irish accent. And Pierce Brosnan isn't Irish, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, because he plays an Irishman in the Foreigner. That's a good film. You should watch that. He's very Irish in that.
I mean, he's very Irish in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what, here's a detail that might have helped with his casting. He, apparently, his wife died in 1991. They got married in 1980 and she died in 1991. That's really sad.
Is that Stephen King or...
No, Pierce Brosnan.
Oh,
Apparently she was in For Your Eyes Only. Countess Liesl von Schlaff. I don't remember that character, if I'm completely honest.
yeah, I don't think you're meant to pay that much attention to the women in Bond. Or maybe you are. Maybe it's to distract from all the sexism.
I think without them it's difficult to be sexist, to be honest. I'll tell you what, I've watched a couple of the early Bonds recently and Jesus fucking Christ, that sort of shit is not okay. The amount of fucking grabbing he does, like every time they have to run away or something, he's like, come on, and he grabs this fucking woman and drags her off. It's horrible.
But by the arm, which is less bad.
Yeah, but then
like he could be worse grabby.
Mm. But I think Sean Connery, like famously in an interview once said, "Oh, if you're having trouble with your wife, just give her a backhand." So,
so The Outsiders. So we go from.
Okay, so Bag of Bones. I don't think either of us are going to finish it off, are we?
No. Even though the second half sounds interesting because it's a lot of curses and like a lot of people. It sounds like a lot of people die in the second half, which
Sounds
I'm
fun.
in for. As long as they're not getting hit by buses that they just clearly aren't looking for. They're trying not to see the buses.
Mm.
But from that to child murder.
And fuck me, what a murder. Yeah, The Outsider. I sent you a text this morning because I woke up 2 hours before I'd start work. So I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll have a little kip for an hour and then I'll spend the second hour watching The Outsider. And fuck me, am I glad I did, because I texted you saying that I think this is one of the best pilots we've ever done.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
Have you read/listened to The Outsider?
No.
So
and now I don't know what to do. Like, do I buy the book? Do I get the audiobook? Or do I carry on watching the show? Because I want to do all of them.
I guess watch the show, seeing as you've already started it, and then you can.
The trouble is it's quite expensive.
Yeah.
So to complete the thing, I think it's like another 18 quid for the whole series. Which is a lot of money, but I am seriously tempted because it was that good.
Yeah, I have the advantage of I already know the story. Because The Outsider is one of the ones that I went and listened to. I think when they were talking about this and they cast Holly Gibney's character, who is in Mr. Mercedes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she shows up in other stuff. I'll give that a go. And then it's really good. But when I started watching it about an hour ago, I couldn't remember exactly what happened. But as they were going through it, it started coming back to me. And I was like, oh shit. And it's so good. If we're assuming that Bag of Bones is Stephen King fumble, this is not. In my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely not. So the setup is there has been a murder of a small boy, and he's been murdered in a particularly grisly and horrific way. There are fingerprints and blood samples of a suspect on the body. There's a couple of other bits of evidence, isn't there? Or is that it? Oh, and they've got witness accounts.
And all of the CCTV of him walking around.
Oh, well, no, but the CCTV of him walking around,
no,
that's his alibi,
there's CCTV in both places. So they got CCTV from the strip club and CCTV from the hotel that he is in as well.
Yeah. So basically, so from the detectives and the cops' point of view, they absolutely have him banged to rights. From the suspect and his lawyer's point of view, he's completely innocent because they've got this footage of him asking a question at an English teachers' conference, like in a few cities away. So it's kind of like, how the hell has this guy appeared it to be in two places at once?
The only thing is, I know the answer.
Well, this is it, right? So the whole way through, so I know that this is in the series and involves characters who are in sort of the police procedural stuff that Stephen King's written. But at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's Stephen King. Is this some sort of, is there a supernatural explanation? Is it going to delve into, slightly more spooky Stephen King territory?
Honestly, it's just Pennywise.
This is the thing. Pennywise, you realise actually reading quite a few things that Pennywise is responsible for quite a few things. Like, he shows up in the Dark Tower at some point. In fact, one of the characters in the Dark Tower, I think he's the same sort of creature as Pennywise was, because Pennywise falls to Earth from space.
Yeah.
There's another character in the Dark Tower that is the same kind of creature. But yeah, but the cast, what a fucking cast! Ben Mendelsohn, Paddy Considine shows up.
Yeah, security guard working in a strip club.
And played brilliantly. Like, he was really convincing. And Jason Bateman, he plays the suspected English teacher and Little League coach. Here's the thing: he's suspected of the murder, and it increasingly looks like it's him. But he has this piece of evidence that seemingly is going to absolve him, because it's footage of him at the same time that the murder's taking place, asking questions in a. He's an English teacher, and as soon as I found that out, I was like, okay, well, I don't think Stephen King's going to have a go at one of his own.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he'll get off though, does it?
No, that's very true. Do you know what? While we're sat here,
are you just going to buy it?
I think I might just look at the book on Amazon. The paperback's less than £5.
It is really good, because it is
presumably I need to have read End of Watch and...
No. Holly Gibney's in it, but it's not really related.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to get all of them.
Yeah, just get the Holly Gibney collection.
End of Watch. I've got Mr. Mercedes. What's the other one? End of Watch. Finders Keepers, isn't it?
Finders Keepers.
Finders Keepers. Anyway, yeah, talk amongst yourselves.
Well, it's just me. Yeah, it's good. Really liked it. It's the thing. The book's really good, and I really enjoyed that I'd forgotten it, and then I started remembering what happened and was like, oh yeah. What I really like is that both sides are so confident that the DA is just like, yeah. So I see you found this physical evidence that he was at the hotel, but all the fingerprints match. So how about we just lose the hotel? And it's just like, I think you're corrupt. But small town America probably is. The thing is, definitely is. We've seen what he says. He was there just like...
Yeah, but small town America is the root of all evil.
Yeah. Sounds
Do you know what? I mean, extrapolate that to small village England, and I think you've got the same fucking answer.
Yeah, except we portray all of ours in comedies. All of our dark village shit happens in your Cornetto trilogy, in your fucking some of the other ones that I can't remember.
I don't know. Wickerman's pretty small town. That's Scotland actually, and that's fucking horrendous.
Yeah, but only good things happen in Scotland, like heroin.
An iron brew.
I'm sorry, I meant heroin.
Read you? Can I read you a text I've just got from my mum?
Yes. Is it dirty?
As we're recording this came in 2 minutes ago. Okay. Will I like The Outsider? We've just bought it.
The response
Fucking
is,
what?
Can I have your Amazon password?
Well, to be fair, they probably only paid 10p for it.
Oh, they just bought the first episode, not the whole thing.
Well, I guess so, yeah.
What you should do is tell them that there's a deal on the whole thing right now. Because now they bought the first episode, it will show them the reduced price.
The thing is, right, I'm pretty sure that they use my Amazon Prime account. They use my Netflix account. So I'm pretty sure that my parents use my Amazon Prime account. So, you know, you made 20p.
Do you think they've maybe just gone like, we're on your account, we've seen it's there, we'll just watch it. And then we'll buy it on your Amazon account.
Yeah, fuck's sake. Yeah, it's when it started, I was like, do you know what? I'm really not sure if I can be bothered with like HBO stuff, like, because it's all a bit. I don't know. I just got a bit of a thing about HBO shows, like, just being a massive effort and you know.
Do you know, I have a different issue with HBO, and it's that I can't watch Daniel's Last X in the UK because HBO won't let me.
Oh, how annoying is that? Particularly given recent events this year in the news.
Yeah,
I think
honestly,
that's actually
more
a really
people need to
important
see
document.
Daniel's Last X.
Mind you, he did a podcast with Pip the other day, and that should be coming out. Probably going to come out tomorrow, actually, maybe, because he tends to release them on a Wednesday.
Great minds.
And
Great
it's
minds.
recent enough, isn't it? So, but yeah, I cannot stress how good, like, The Outsider is. If this isn't in my top 10, if this isn't in my top 5 at the end of the year,
If it's not in your top
been a
5, we'll
real
extend
good
it to
year.
a top 10.
But here's the thing, right? So we're not quite at the halfway point of the series. I already have 4 in my top 5.
And how many of them are Stephen King?
1, 2. Oh no, that's not. Yeah, 2 at the minute. It's just a good job that you discovered him, to be quite honest. I mean,
Yeah.
don't
Just
know
you
what
wait.
we'd have done
Just
with
you
that.
wait until you find out I discovered David Mitchell as well.
I mean, that was good of you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Basically, I discovered the television.
Yeah, the Outsider is fucking astonishing. You need to go and watch it right fucking
Yeah,
now.
or if
I
you're
will-
listening to this and hate television, the book's
Read
good
the book.
too. Yeah.
I will 100% be watching more of this.
That's
I
the
just don't know when.
honestly, part of the thing that I like so much about when we do Stephen King shows is that I can watch the first episode, then just go, I'll get the book.
Yeah.
And it's weird because adaptations are normally they're so hit and miss. Look at you, Game of
Particularly
Thrones
with
season.
him.
Yeah. The thing is, I read a couple of like professional reviews of this to try and see if I was right, and a lot of them say it's better than the book.
Really? That is interesting. It's very rare that that's the case, isn't it?
That's the thing. It's very rare that that's the case, apart from with Stephen King.
Yeah, that is true. Actually, yeah, that is true.
Because I think I'm not in any way. It's just sometimes I think the way he writes sometimes translates better to. You just go, oh look, that's what the scene looks like. But I don't know, that might just be me. But I haven't watched the whole thing, so I can't say if that's true or not.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait to watch more of this and read the book and all of it.
Yeah, it's really good. I probably will buy the rest of this at some point and watch it and just enjoy it.
It might have to wait till next month because I've bought a lot of stuff this month, including a racing wheel. So,
what if we watch partied it? We'll start it again with Jack.
I think we both still have to. If we watch party, all parties have to pay for it.
Yeah, we'll both buy it. And then we'll make Jack buy it.
But yeah, what we got next?
Oh, next.
It's True Blood and Dracula, the adaptation from last year, which you came to mine, and we watched 2 episodes of it, didn't we? Or did we just watch the one?
We watched 2, and then I went home and watched the third one.
And then you had a curry that was so spicy you had to go and stand on the balcony.
Honestly, I thought I was a vampire standing in the sun. And True Blood, so it's definitely going to be a tale of two halves.
Yeah.
That episode.
I'm pretty sure I've seen True Blood, I just can't remember it. So.
I keep thinking that we've done it. That's the reason it's on the
Same.
list at all, because I'm so convinced we've done it, but we did the Vampire Diaries.
We did Vampire Diaries, and we twinned that with a recent Dracula adaptation as well. I remember really liking that Dracula adaptation.
Oh yeah, no, that's the... Is that the CW version? Or ABC, it's the big network one. That isn't the BBC, because the BBC do it best.
I can't remember. I'm just looking it up now because I'm having to. It was the Universal NBC. Yeah, NBC.
Yeah.
That was good fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, realistically, for us, I think it's hard to fuck up vampires.
Yeah. I mean...
So I think there are
elements
of the Twilight vampires that are redeeming. The sparkling in the sunlight is bullshit. But the rest of their mythology is fine. It's just the shining like a diamond in the sun. That is my problem with them. And just generally the emotional range of the whole book. But apart from that, like, Twilight's fine.
I have my problems with it. A lot of it being that she just mopes all the fucking time.
I describe that as emotional range of the book. Because
well,
there's one emotion and it's sadness.
And it's oh, or it's I don't know.
I don't know. Do I want the hot one or the cold one? Well, it's cold right now, so I'll snuggle up to the hot one.
But I tell you what, come that summertime, whew, where's that long fang prick? I got sweat on.
Can you imagine if that was just their whole life? But I actually know my biggest problem with Twilight is the whole Jacob and Prince on her daughter, and I'm like, I'm not sure.
That's rapey as shit. That's definitely
the thing.
not okay.
Like the book, even the book and the film, very quickly go, whoa, it's not a sexy thing. But in the back of your head, you're just like, but it is though.
The fact that you're so vehemently denying that it's a sexy thing makes it a sex thing. Now this guy wants to fuck a child.
Yeah, and you're sort of like, if I wasn't sold on the way that they've worked werewolves in, because they're not werewolves, they're shapeshifters. They don't deserve the title werewolf, but they call themselves werewolves because, as it turns out, I have a lot of problems with Twilight.
They don't even need the fucking moon, do they?
No, it can be daytime.
That's bullshit. Fucking bullshit.
I can't remember if they ever actually call themselves werewolves, but I assume that they do.
I'm sure they do. I mean, well, do they? Yeah, they must do. Because I was thinking, because it's underworld that it's lichens, isn't it?
Yeah, which is an accurate description because it's like a moon thing.
Mental. Anyway, True Blood and Dracula. I wonder which one we'll like more. I might order in a stupidly hot curry, just to relive the last time you came to the flat.
That'll be nice, won't it? That'll be nice. It's the garlic chicken one, weirdly.
It was a korma. It was mad.
It's mad. The thing that validates it for me, makes that curry like possibly the hottest thing in existence, is the fact that both you and Lisa tried it and agreed that it was hotter than it possibly should have been.
I can't believe you ate as much of it as you did, because I honestly, I took a mouthful. I was like, Jesus fuck, and I like hot food, but even for me, I was like, that is a bit fucking much.
So that's the thing. I like hot food. My body just reacts very poorly to it. By just going, it's hot. That's like the sun. We're gonna sweat, and you're gonna feel like you're gonna die for a little bit. But if you stand in the cold for long enough, you will feel slightly better for about 10 seconds.
Oh man, now I really want some spicy food. Anyway, we should stop this because we're just rambling.
Yeah.
Shall I do? I tell you what I'll do to round this off. I'm just going to do a real quick last impression of the bus hitting his wife. Ready? Boom.